I can't wait to get to this fucking thing later on in this podcast where this guy is trying to claim that the Earth can sustain 100 billion people. I really cannot. I cannot wait. I just glanced at it and looked at it, and it's just. I just. How the fuck you arrived at that number? And I actually tried to find. I started looking up how many fucking people the Earth can sustain. And what I immediately found was that nobody could say for certain, but the numbers estimated were nowhere near 100 million fucking people. 100 billion, sorry. So I cannot wait to read this guy somehow claiming that there's enough farmland to feed 100 fucking billion people. I don't know. Okay, do we stack each other on top of one another? And even then, do elephants get to roam free anymore? Where are all the fucking animals? If there was 100 billion people on the planet, I would think that cannibalism would slowly start to become legal. They would have, they'd have farm people or stock people. That's what they'd call them. And they would simply be used for food. You know? We just, and of course it would be, the evil white man would decide who it is that gets eaten first. Maybe they'd start with like the pygmies or something like that, because it'd be like, all right, well, they are of a particular race, but they're not as tall as most people in that race. So, they're sort of bite-sized. They're like sliders, right? Sliders. They're like human sliders. Get a little honey bun, stick a fucking ankle between the two, right? Why would you eat an ankle? Ankle meat? All right. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is the one I wanted to read. This is amazing. Overpopulation myth. Bill, how you're doing? And I'm just checking in on you. To inform you that if you go online and see for yourself how much arable, A-R-A-B-L-E, farmland and resources there actually is in the world, you'll see that there is enough to feed and home at least 100 billion people for a provable fact. I don't know. That sentence didn't make sense. Did you voice text this? Or did you actually, this is how you actually type out sentences. Person goes, so anytime you hear anyone say that 7 billion people is too many people, they're THEIR, either seriously misinformed and or too lazy to do some research, or flat out lying through their teeth like our so-called leaders and scientists must be. Oh yeah, they got to be lying because you can't even spell "their" right. Because within 1 to 2 days of research, you can find studies that prove what I say. It's going to take me 1 to 2 days to find it on the internet. This is fucking hilarious. 1 to 2 days to research, you can find studies that prove what I say is true. Parentheses, at least 100 billion. Now, I know you're in the business of waking the masses up, just like the late, great Bill Hicks. No, I'm not. But do you realize how serious the situation is regarding the distraction and brainwashing as organized by big business and their controlling family owners? So as great as I think you and your comedy are, mentioning overpopulation, which is a complete myth, is doing them, parentheses, big corporations and the cunts who own them, a big service in adding to the brainwashing. Anyway, Bill, I know you're a great man because of the subjects you talk about during your shows, but please look for yourself at how much arable farmland there is and consider the fact that all food grows completely for free. Wow. All right. Well, I'll tell you this, buddy. I know I'm a moron, so I just looked up. I looked at how many people can the Earth sustain? And it says, how many people can the Earth support? So 10 billion people is the utmost population limit where food is concerned. That's the first one. The next one says more than 7 billion people currently are on the planet, compared to 3 billion in 1967. That one doesn't say. I'll just, well, that's a video. I don't want to watch that. Current population is 3 times the sustainable level. That's the next article. How many people can the Earth sustain? I'll click on this one. I'm trying to find anything that says anything even remotely close to 100 billion. Here's a staggering stat. According to the United Nations, the world's current population of 7.2 billion, is now up to 7.8, is projected to increase by 1 billion over the next 12 years, which would bring us to 9.6 billion by 2050. How can we sustain all these people on the planet? Or rather, how many people can this planet sustain? That is the question Alan Weissman explored in his latest book, Countdown, Our Last Best Hope for a Future on Earth, ? Jesus Christ, a bunch of conversations, bunch of words. How about a number? Where is the fucking number? All right, he has the chart of how it's going to. In the next 50 years, we will need to produce as much food as has ever been consumed for an entire human history. Well, that makes sense because there'll be the most people. There'll be the most farts ever in the history of human beings. Well, there's no fucking number there. Sir, all I can tell you is if you see the environmental damage that 7.8 billion people did, if you're going to have 100 billion people, like... I mean, at this point in Africa, there's barely any land for wild animals. It's all like, for the most part, down in the southern part of the country, it's all like roped off. It's finite, you know what I mean? They're completely surrounded. I'd have to say that I disagree, and not just by your spelling, because I couldn't read half the fucking words you said even when you spelt them right. But yeah, no, there's no fucking way 100 billion people. And there's any sort of animal life left that isn't stuck in a cage. You know what I mean? And also, in this last year, I traveled to Singapore, Hong Kong, and Mumbai, India, and I saw what that next level of population looked like, dude. And I was breathing that air. Not Singapore. Singapore was different. But Hong Kong and Mumbai, India, you could almost taste the fucking air, and it was just... It was just way too many fucking people. I can tell you that. There's no way 100 billion people. And I don't understand why I need to look it up for 1 to 2 days. Why couldn't you just send me a link? I would love for you to be right, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not. I'm going to go with the scientists on this one. And also, this also sounds like, you know, when people denied global warming. Not to get all political, but one political party adamantly denied it for years and years and years, and now decades, and now they finally just go, yeah, we are causing climate change, but you know what? It's too late now. So I imagine that's what we're going to do. Out here, we have a fucking methane gas leak that's been going on, and I guess it's like 10 times worse than carbon dioxide as far as getting put into the fucking atmosphere, as far as heating it up and all that. We're completely fucked. We're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. And selfishly, I hope it doesn't happen by the end of my own life, which is the exact sort of thought process that got us into this mess to begin with. But, sir, you're correct in assuming that I'm a fucking dope and I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm just kind of going with having traveled extensively, you know, for the last 20 years on the road and watching the population increase just in this country. It's a weird thing when the population it keeps looking like it's sort of leveled off. And I don't know if because there's no factories anymore. All I know is like it used to be back in the day, if I jumped on the highway at 2 p.m, I was good. And now everywhere I go, there's like traffic. And I'm just looking at these people going like, are you guys all stand-up comics? Does everybody work the third shift? How the fuck are all these people out on the road? I don't even know what's going on. Do a lot of people work from home and they're all driving out to get a sandwich at that time? I don't know. You know what? Let me look up. I heard the U.S. population is kind of leveled off, which has excited me. That's exciting to me, you know. U.S. population. Oh, Jesus Christ, Bill. Can you fucking population by year? Let's do this. All right, let's see what we got here. U.S. population by year. Right. Let's go back to 1997. There was 2.7265 million, and now there's $322.07 million. So it's gone up by like $50 million. Is that enough to notice? Well, that's actually, that's significant, right? That's like a 20% increase. I think I'm making some points.